I was going through a lot of symptoms my first trimester. Let me just say my first trimester was horrible. My name is India. Welcome to my channel. And today I'm just going to be giving a first trimester recap. So, first things first, how we found out. So, we actually found out March, I think, 8th of this year. And I had been testing every month leading up to when we actually found out we were pregnant. And it was kind of a letdown. So, March comes up, and I'm like, I probably should just test. So, I kind of figured I was, but I really didn't know. So, I tested, and boom, we were pregnant. So when we told our friends and family, so we had waited 2 months to tell our friends, just because I wanted to do like a video reveal, surprise thing, just kind of shock everybody because nobody had knew. So yeah, we waited to tell our friends, but we told our immediate family first thing. When we had our first ultrasound. So when we had our first ultrasound, I was about 6 weeks along. So I was still very early, but I wanted to get in as quickly as possible and just to get things moving along. Really exciting because we got to hear the heartbeat, and it was just a beautiful experience. So symptoms. So I was going through a lot of symptoms my first trimester. Let me just say my first trimester was horrible. Mm, it was so horrible. Okay. So I was very emotional. I mean, I'm already an emotional person. Those who know me know I'm a very emotional person, whatever. So pregnancy just heightened those symptoms. So I was very emotional. I was bloated like every single day. In my first trimester, I was literally bloated. I'm like, this is not a bump. I'm just bloating. Um, I did have some nasal congestion. I was very like stopped up. It was horrible. And then my main one was like nausea. Nausea was horrible. I would wake up nauseous. I would try to eat and be nauseous. I would go to bed nauseous. It was just like a never ending spell of nausea. But I never threw up. I would like spit up sometimes here and there. I would definitely be gagging all day, but ugh, it was gross. I had really bad headaches. I was drinking a lot of water, so I didn't really know where the headaches were coming from, but I had like crazy headaches. My breasts were really sore, like tender to the touch. I could barely put a bra on without them being like an excruciating pain. Some days I had excess saliva in my mouth. It would pop up like here and there. It wasn't something that was like consistent. This is when I actually didn't realize it was a symptom. Like I heard people talk about it, but I never thought it was like a thing. Forgetfulness. I don't forget things. I forget my keys when it was time to go to school. Or when I'm walking out the door, I walk out the door without my phone. So cravings. So when I wasn't nauseous, like when I wasn't feeling nauseous, I would be craving Popeyes. I don't know where it came from, but Popeyes ghost pepper wings. Oh my goodness. Popeyes ghost pepper wings with some fries, some macaroni and cheese, and a biscuit. I don't know what it was about Popeyes, but wash it down with some Dr. Pepper. That was my craving. So aversions. I don't know if dishes is like considered an aversion, but like leaving dishes in the sink, my sense of smell was like very heightened in pregnancy, so I couldn't walk in my kitchen and there'd be dishes in there. I made like a system, like a routine. I would do the dishes at night, and then in the morning it would be doable to walk into my kitchen. But like dishes, raw meat, the smell of like raw meat, um, eggs. I couldn't eat like a lot of eggs in the first trimester. It was horrible. What helped with my nausea was ginger root, and then my mom got me these little gummies, little nausea gummies. I lived off of those in the first trimester. So like natural ginger root and then gummies. So I know that a lot of people talk about first trimester being like really hard. You're just surviving, and it's a lot that you're dealing with. It's a lot on your body, very tough, and it can kind of be like negative. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of negative things that are happening to your body that you really don't have control over. So I want to give you guys a list of some positives about my first trimester. Like, yeah, it was horrible. You know, I'm glad I made it through it, but there were a lot of positives in that time where it was very hard for me. So some of the positives for me personally, was the first ultrasound. That was a really, really exciting moment for the both of us because our last pregnancy, we didn't have anything done. Like we didn't have any checkups, we didn't have any ultrasounds done. So this pregnancy, this time around, it kind of felt like we were doing things for the very first time. So it was a beautiful moment to like look over and see my husband just like really emotional because we get to hear the heartbeat of our child. So I think that was very beautiful. My first blood work appointment. I don't like getting my blood drawn. I don't like needles, but I would say that would be a positive for me because of my blood work, I was able to know that the pregnancy was viable. Especially after experiencing a loss, it was nice to hear that our pregnancy is viable. Telling our friends and family was also something that was very positive, just to see their reaction. I know a lot of people were waiting for us to be pregnant again, like, God's going to bless you to be pregnant again. And so when we told our friends and our family, just like seeing their excitement, like I was already excited. It was hard to hold it in for so long, but just seeing their excitement that they're excited for us in this new journey, that was a very good positive. And I think I'm going to insert a clip of us revealing to our friends that we are pregnant. I had like a birthday game night type of thing, and that was the night that I told my friends that we were pregnant, and I got it on video. So I might enter that clip in. You ready? I know. 1, 2, 3. Say India's pregnant. India's pregnant. Feeling baby's flutters for the first time. So I never knew that you could feel the baby so early on. I was about 9 weeks, I think, when I started feeling like flutters. I thought it was just gas. I mean, I'm like, okay, I don't know I think it's just gas. But no, so I realized it was the baby moving, and I didn't know that until we went and had an appointment with our midwife. And that's also another positive, was meeting our midwife. So crazy story. I guess it's not really crazy, but the midwife that we have now was someone we were going to use our last pregnancy, but we never got to meet her because we ended up losing the baby before we could get a chance to like introduce, meet and greet, or whatever. So now the day we met the midwife, it was just a cool experience. This was not really. I mean, for me, it's a positive because I never really had nails. I have like nubs, so I would say growing nails. The prenatal that I'm taking, my nails have been growing, my hair's been growing. So I would say that's a positive. Finding out the NIPS results. If you don't know what that is, it's a blood test that you can get to find out the gender or to tell if your baby has any abnormalities, if they're at low risk. So we decided to opt in to do that test, and we did it at 10 weeks. We didn't find out the gender though, so we just left that up to the godmom. She knew the gender, but we didn't know the gender. We just got the results of if we were at low risk for any abnormalities. I think that was a positive. It was kind of like eased our mind to know that, okay, the baby is at low risk for having any birth defects. So my last positive, or my first trimester recap, would definitely be spending time with God, especially for me and experiencing a loss. All I have is my faith, so it's like there's nothing that I can do to prevent a miscarriage. God knows what's going to happen, God's in control. So for me, I spent every single day, you know, I was fighting for my life, surviving, and like, Lord, just take away the pain and this uncomfortableness. But also, I was spending more time with God. I realized in my first trimester, because I was believing for this baby to be full term, and I was believing for God to continue to bless us in every step of the way, no matter what happens. So I'm just relying on the Lord solely. So that was a huge thing for me in my first trimester, is God, spending time with God every single day, even when I'm nauseous, even when I'm emotional. I would always just make time for God. So I know a lot of people talk about the negatives in the first trimester because it can be hard and it can be very difficult. But those are just some of my personal positives in my first trimester. So thank you so much for watching my first trimester recap.